Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Gabin from Design Tribe, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I designed this flyer in Photoshop. Let's get straight to it. First thing I want to do is to create the project, and for this project I'm going to be using a size of 30 centimeters by 40 centimeters, and I'll just drop my resolution to 150 like that. I'm just going to click on OK, and up here on image I'll just go to image and rotation, and I'll rotate the image clockwise like that. And once the rotation is gotten right, I'm just going to create my background. So here I'm going to be using gradients, so we go down to gradients, and under gradients I'll make sure I use a dark blue color for my gradient. So I'll just select this, and once that is selected, I may now change the style of the gradient to radial like that, and I reverse the gradient like this and scale it up to something like this. And now I'll just double click here, change this color, make it a little more darker, a darker different shade of blue, maybe something like that. Okay, I click on OK, and now I'll reduce the size a little more so the two blue colors blend. I'm just going to click on OK. So once that is done, I want to add another layer to my background so it can have some texture. So I'll just go to where my images are found and locate the image. Okay, so just scroll down, and when I find the image, this one, just drag, drop into my design like this, and I'm going to scale it up to something like this. Okay, once I position this, I'm just going to click out of it, go to my blend modes, and I'll change it to luminosity and drop down the opacity. I just want it to be kind of faint in the background like this. Okay, once that is done, I'm just going to add a new layer, and on this new layer I'm going to be using my brush, and I'll increase the size of my brush. I'm going to select a yellow color, like this color that is yellowish, and maybe I want to drop the color down, the saturation down a little to something like this. And once I select that, I'll increase the brush size again, and I'll just dab on this side and dab on this side too. So once that is done, I'm going to reduce the opacity a little more like this. I may want to dab in a little more again like that, so it actually blends in a little more. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with what I have for now, and at this point I'm just going to go ahead to import my logos. So I'm just going to go to where the logos are located, so bring in the main logo of the ministry, reduce the size like this, position it somewhere here, and then going to import the second logo and just drag and drop it here like this, reduce the size and position, zoom in to make sure they are aligned. Just reduce the size of this other one a little. Okay, so once that is done, the next thing I did was to add some other shapes to my design. So I'm just going to use my rectangular tool Now create a rectangle here like this. Now switch the color to white. Once that is switched, I'll just bring it down a little, create a copy, Ctrl J. Now bring it up, zoom out a little like this, position it here, Ctrl T to rotate, and I'll rotate it slightly like this just to give it a little white above this position like this. Drop it down. Okay, so once that is done, I'll now type in my text, and so just go to a new layer. Now type in ministers, increase my font size to about 48. I'll type in ministers, select everything, go to my fonts. I'm going to select this font, Silent Rocking. It's now all in caps, so I'll just type it in lowercase. Okay, select everything. Now go to characters, under characters, and I'll untick this and just type it again, ministers. Ministers, like that. Once that is typed, I'm going to increase it like this, zoom in a little more. Okay, once that is typed, I'll just position it here, and the next text I need is encounter, and it's going to be with a yellow color. So I'll just click here. Now type in encounter like that, select everything, and for this I'm going to use another font known as All the Way to the Sun, and I select that, just Ctrl T, I'll scale it up like this, position it somewhere here. And for the color, I'm just going to double click on it and switch the color to this yellow color like this. And once that is done, I'm going to go back to my images, and I'll import the image of the minister. Ring here, and bring it down a little like this. Now just position him somewhere here like this. Okay, once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is maybe just bring him down slightly to the side, and Ctrl T, increase. Let's do some modification. Then I'll also select both texts, ministers encounter, increase the size a little like this. Okay, and I think at this point I'll just bring it down slightly, and I will reduce the size of the two logos. Just drop them slightly a little and position them above. And now I'm going to type in session 5. So I will just change my text color to white and create a new text layer here, and make sure the font is all the way to the sun like that, and I'll type in session. Select everything, switch the color to white. I'll click on OK and put this at the center like that, and I'm going to draw a line like this and position it here. And once that is done, I'll add a mask to it. Now use my brush tool like that, reduce the size of the brush, something like this, and make sure it's a soft brush. So I'll reduce all my hardness down to 0%, and I'm just going to dab here like this to create this line, and I'll also dab at the edges like that, so it has this kind of fade out effects at the edges. Okay, once that is done, next thing I want to do is to type in the theme of the program. So I'm just going to create a shape layer here. So click to create a new layer, and I'll select this same dark blue from the background, and I'm going to create a layer here like this. And once that is created, I'm going to type in theme inside. So I don't want to click within, because when you click within, normally you have your text pasted within, and sometimes it might be a little challenging modifying it. So I don't want that, so I'm just undo like this, and I'm going to click outside like this. Now type in theme, select everything, change the fonts to the same fonts I use up here, silence rocking, and I'll just bring it down and position it here. Control T, reduce the size a little more like that. Control T, and we want to increase the size of this to this position. And now I'm going to type in the theme of the events, and the theme of the event is Christ the builder of the church. So I'm just going to select another font. So for this I use Montserrat, the Montserrat regular. So I'm just going to select Montserrat regular for this. So I'm just going to type in 2 lines like that, Christ the builder of the church. Okay, and just drag this out like this. Select everything, align it left like that. Now use Control or Command C, reduce the size like this, and I'll drag, drop it at the center here, increase the size a little to this position, and now I'm going to make it bold. So I just switch the font to bold like that, and then here, oh, this changed, I'll just change it back to silence rocking like this, and I'll position it here, and I'm going to change the color of this text to yellow like that, and we want to make this a little like bold, bold like that. Okay, once that is done, I'm just going to type in the venue of the event. So I'm just going to type in Christ Nation So I'll reduce my font size to say 24, change the color to the dark blue color, and my fonts to Montserrat. I'll type in Christ's Nation. Hawaii Lavery. So enter Hawaii Lavery like that. Select everything, make it bold. So I'll just go to bold and to my fonts, and I make it bold like that, and align everything left like that. Now type in the description of the area. So it's 300 meters after Institute. So I just type in, oops, instead of doing that, I'll just create a paragraph text like this. I'll type in, just switch the color here to white so I can actually see what I'm typing. Okay. $300 meters after Institute P2. From Carrefour de l'Amitié et Condom. Okay, just going to reduce everything like this, select everything again, and switch my color to the dark blue text color behind. So I'm just going to select everything again, and here now I'll unbold it, maybe leave it at medium, Ctrl T, drag, bring it down here, reduce the size like this, position it here like that. So I may need to modify some things here so all of these text will fit together better. So I'm going to select all of these layers like this, select these three, Ctrl C, reduce the size, and I bring it somewhere here. And now I'll bring this, reduce the size a little like that, and I'll bring this above, increase the size so it is more legible, and I position it here. And now I'm just going to type in the date and the time. So I'm just going to duplicate this, Ctrl J, position it here, and I'll type in Thursday 7th of March 07 March 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Space it up like this. And now I'm going to select this one in the middle, make it bolder like that. And the next thing I'm going to create is a shape that indicates that the program is free. So I'm just going to use my rectangular shape tool. Now create the shape here like this. And I'm going to type free like that. Make it, yeah, extra bold is good. Then I'll flip the color to yellow like this. And I'll drag, drop it here like this. And now I'm going to be adding some textures to this white layer here and on this blue shape. So I'm just going to locate where all of these layers are found. So I'll select all these layers like this. I think this is included like this, and I'll go down again. Okay, this one. So I'll select all of them, create a group for them, and now I'm going to create a duplicate of this layer, drag and drop it above this group I've just created like this. And now I'm going to press Ctrl T on my keyboard and I'll bring it down like this and zoom out, reduce the size to something like this so that there is a kind of texture on these layers. So I'll still reduce the size a little more until I can actually see the textures on all the layers. So right now I can see the textures somewhere here, I can't see it here, and also I mistakenly took out the theme text. So what I would do now is maybe just bring this in and place it individually above each of the layers. So I'll just press Ctrl T again and readjust the image until I have the side that has the reflection I need on the text like this, and I may increase my opacity to something like this. Now I'm going to use a clipping mask to clip it on that layer. Ctrl J to create a copy, and I'll navigate to the other shape layer and clip it there. Ctrl T and move it again so you can actually see the texture here like that. Okay, so I think that improves it a little more. And now what I'm going to do is to add the shadow behind the minister here. So I'm just going to select the layer where he is found. Now add another layer behind him, and I'll use dark color. Use my brush blend mode to darken, and I'll just paint. Oops, make sure the layer is behind him. Okay, so I'll just make sure the layer is behind him, and I'll just paint like this just to add a shadow behind him. Once I paint in, I'll drop in my opacity like that, and I think that helps to separate him a little more from the background. And the next thing I'll do is just to add color grading on him. So I'll just go to curves and change my curve here to red, and for the reds I'm going to add a little red like this. Go to my blues, and the opposite of blue is yellow, so I'm going to add yellow like this, and I think I like this. I'm just going to clip this in the middle, clip this on the layer so that the effect affects just the layer where the man of God is found. Now I'm just going to import a texture and add to this background because it actually looks too plain. So okay, so I'll just pick this texture and I'll drag and drop on my design like that, and I'll take it right down to where we have the background. Then here, Ctrl T, increase the size to something like this, and I'll change my blend mode to soft light like that, and I'll just drop the opacity a little just to have tiny textures in the background. And I'm also going to add another texture over my text like that. Just take this up, make sure I place it above the encounter text, and just clip it on it like that, and drop the opacity a little more like this. And at this point, all I'm going to do now is to do my final color grading on my image. So I'll just select all the layers together like that, create a group. I forgot to add his name, so I'm just going to create a shape here like this, a white shape, position it like that. I'll press Command Control T on my keyboard, and I'll increase the size of the shape like this, and I'll rotate it like that, increase the size to this position. Okay, once that is done, I'm just going to type in the name of the minister, go to Montserrat Regular, and I'll type the name of the minister, Reverend Ivan Matal Ghana, like that. Select everything. Now choose the same dark blue color I've been using. I want to make this semi-bold. Control Command C, scale it down like this, and I'll position it here. Okay, great. So now I'm just going to create a group of everything like this. Command or Control J, hide this layer, convert this to a smart object. Once everything is converted to a smart object, I'll just go to Filter, Camera Raw. Now that Camera Raw, I'm going to refine the design a little more. So I'm going to increase my temperature to make it a little warm, and here I'm going to reduce my texture so that a little more of the textures, I'll reduce my highlights so that the textures on his jacket can actually be seen, and then drop shadows a little, increase my whites like that, and drop the blacks. Maybe I'll leave the black the way it is, and I'll just add a little textures and a little clarity like that, and sharpness I'm just going to add it to this level, and when I add the sharpness, you now see the textures in the background popping up, and I think that's okay. I'm just going to click on OK and see the design. Okay, so this is the final result of the design. So that's it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please do well to support me by liking and sharing the video. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can subscribe and hit the notification bell so that whenever I release a video, you will be notified and never miss any of my videos. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.